Yeah. What is going on, guys? My normal bench was taken, unfortunately. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine over here. You gotta adapt. This is live show business. The show must go on. You know how it goes. I would have liked to sit in other benches. Unfortunately, in this beautiful park, there's a bit of a situation. I don't know. I don't know how to put this nicely. Um, Sometimes the benches are taken by people sleeping. Not trying to get political, but that's becoming a larger issue in this area. So I kind of have to pick and choose at what times I can come here and use these benches. But we are here nonetheless. And as I said, says, have a good evening, my friend. Well, it's still the morning here. Oh man, everyone, please give a round of applause to Junior Johnson. Junior Johnson is joining us, and he's commented on every one of my episodes asking why he can't get into live streams. And it's because those are episodes and not live streams. But today, it is live. So congratulations. Thank you for joining us, Junior Johnson. Rohi is here. Tom Mulrooney is here. What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Milcom the moderator says, make friends with the homeless. That's the plan. TDY Ranger, certified T3 bot. What's up, bro? Tato, that fellow there. Certified T3 bot. Lee Bishop, what's going on? He is in the Discord chat, but he is not a certified T3. How did that work, Milcom? How did you allow that? It's okay. I'll let you in there. Dan Vokey is new. What's going on? Arizona MBNZ. I assume AZ stands for Arizona because I'm American and I'm ignorant. So I'm just going to assume AZ stands for the great state of Arizona. Says, your beard is looking bespoke. Thank you. I put some Redken Brews beard oil. And, yeah. David Levin from NorCal. What's going on? It's probably a lot nicer where I am. I didn't even need a jacket today. It's going to be in like the high 60s to 70s even. What is going on with the weather? Funniest thing happened today, guys. So I went to go get my coffee, and this dude next to me sneezed, and I was like, bless you. And then like 2 seconds afterwards, the guy was like, oh my God. And I was like, do I turn? Like, was he offended that I said bless you? Because you never know nowadays. People could be offended. I've literally said bless you to people, and they've stopped me and been like, excuse me, I don't believe in God. And I'm like, okay. It's just something you say. Anyway, so I said bless you, and like two seconds later, the guy was like, oh my God. And I turn, and he's like, I follow you on everything. So shout out to Eli if you're watching this. You were a very nice guy. And it was in the middle of a small Starbucks, and it was pretty funny. It was a hilarious interaction. We started talking about watches, and yeah, the guy's the man. So Eli, if you're watching this, the support does not go unnoticed, and you kind of, I don't know, it's flattering. Boosted my ego. You made me feel more special than I actually am, so I appreciate that. Young Excellency says, catching the live stream early. What's going on from Atlantic Canada? Oh, you're not from Vancouver then? Vancouver's right above me, eh? Rohit says, the world is a small place indeed. I agree. Milton the moderator says, time to start sneezing in public. I don't know about that. You might get put away because the coronavirus is going around. Everybody's really scared, even though I don't think it's that big of a deal. Diesel says, hello from Wisconsin. HH with the early question says, hey, dude, what's your Grail watch? I have a few, and I think the list is ever changing. I think when you're addicted to watches, the list, it just, you're never satisfied. But I think right now on my list, okay, here's my two like main grails. One is the Creator AHE2 and the other is a Rolex 6062. There's another grail that I really want to get. Um, I okay. People get upset when I say that like I got a grail because they're like, "Oh, grails are never supposed to get." And I'm like, "Well, then what's the point of having it on your list?" You know what I mean? You gotta have something to shoot for. So there's a third grail, but the third grail is something I'm going to buy, which is the Explorer 1016. That is the one I want to get, and I would consider that a grail because that's something that I feel like is just out of my reach, but it's a goal, guys. Don't sell yourself short. And you know what I just realized? There's my rally car. See that? Oh yeah. What's up, guys? Got up close and personal there for a moment. Oh, also, by the way, before we go any further, Gong Hei Fa Choi. Happy Year of the Rat, everybody. I hope everyone has a very prosperous, happy, healthy new year. Let's go crazy. Everybody I know was celebrating yesterday. Demon says, by the way, Jory, happy Chinese New Year. Yeah, Gong Hei Fak Choi. Enjoy yourself. Junior Johnson says, thank you. I was on the live stream last week. Halfway through, the comments were deleted. I didn't have an email address. I thought I would get your attention somehow. Well, you got my attention by spamming my comment section. Steven says, I've been craving dim sum. Dude, who doesn't crave dim sum? Anytime someone says dim sum, I just can't stop thinking of egg tarts. I don't eat the chicken feet, but that might be. I know Milkum absolutely. No, Papa Shark loves the chicken feet. That's what he said. Barbecue pork bun, shumai, the flat noodle with the Chinese donut and shrimp in it. I'm not opposed to the chicken feet. It's just Connie like detests them, and she's Chinese, so if she doesn't like them, then I'm not gonna eat them. Oh, Reed, Happy New Year, my friend. Gong Hei Choi. Reed, I gotta respond to you. By the way, Uncle Reed, you are not helping me, buddy. You are tempting me. He sent me two listings of a variant of one of my Grail cars. I just looked at those last night, Reed, and the crazy thing is that car has the ridiculous engine in it, same build. It's not the Evo or the Evo 2 because we didn't get those in North America. But just to have that car and maybe to modify it a little bit so that it could replicate the Evo would be crazy. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the 190Es, the Mercedes. Probably the best cars people, Mercedes have ever made. Reed says, save the money, bro. Someday. Exactly. Reed, I'm not going to buy that car until I can import an actual 190E Evo Cosworth. That's going to be my goal. But that was tempting, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you teasing me a little bit with those listings. Lee says, "Get the Porsche, man." Yeah, I'm gonna get a 911 before I get the 190E for sure. 911s are much more attainable than that Grail Mercedes. Nick says, "Let's race. I have a Focus ST. You don't want to, because I will beat you." AZ, again, I'm just going to say Arizona, says, what's your go-to restaurant there for you and your wife? Man, we have a few um, that we really like and we frequent. For some reason, when you ask me that, the first thing that comes to mind There's three. There's three that come to mind. One is a place called Bon Shabu, and that's in Koreatown. So that's just past, uh, we'll say just west of downtown. And it's a shabu shabu place. So there's hot broth, and they separate it so you can get two different broth stocks. And it's all you can eat, really high quality meat, though. Usually, the all you can eat places, um, they kind of, the way they mitigate cost is they'll offer you all you can eat, but the quality of meat is lowered. Um, but this place, Bon Shabu, it's a little pricier, but the meat is incredible, and the stocks are great. So it's in Koreatown. It's run by Koreans, but it's shabu shabu. So essentially, it's just like a hot pot place in Koreatown. That's incredible, and because it's Korean, they have a full like banchan section, so you can eat all the other things along with your hot pot. So that's Bon Shabu in Koreatown. That would be number one. Another one is a place called Din Tai Fung, and it's not dim sum, but it's dumplings. And so all the different, xiaolong bao, uh, any other type of pot sticker that you could ever want is there, along with some other more traditional Chinese foods. They have actually really good beef noodle soup. Um, so that's a place, Din Tai Fung, and they have those actually all over the world. So that would be number two, and then another one. Let me see. You couldn't tell. I really like Asian food. Those are probably my top two, if I'm totally honest. There's another one called Marigume Monzo, which is an udon place in J-Town or Little Tokyo, and that's essentially right by the arts, right next to the arts district in downtown LA. And there's always a line down the block. You got to put your name on a clipboard. They don't take reservations, and you just got to get there and chill. But the cool thing is there's some Japanese markets in that area. So what Connie and I usually do is we stop at the Japanese market and get a bunch of Japanese snacks. Hold on. Look at that. So what we typically do is we go to the Japanese market, get a bunch of snacks, and then we wait in line while we're gonna eat. So that's perfect. So yeah, those are some places. Cream says, "Sir, do you use a stick shift? I presume your Jeep has one." The short answer is yes. The long answer is that they don't make STIs automatic. They only make 6 speeds. And then the TJ Rubicons initially did not come automatic, and they only had 6 speeds. So yes, both of my vehicles right now are 6 speeds. Reading comments, my bros, my dudes. Quenz Landa, who's actually one of my favorite commenters because he always makes me laugh, says Archie Luxury has bought and now owns 5 Pateks. I personally think that's a waste of money in my book. I always say, go Rolex, go home. Well, different strokes for different folks, man. Arizona says, your food places are making me weep. I love Asian food and markets. Well, I'm quite spoiled here in Los Angeles. It's a very diverse area, and with that comes a plethora of different foods to choose from. So, there issues with Los Angeles? Abso-freaking-lutely. But can I choose to look at the positives? Yes. And one of the positives is a ton of good food. Wamadin from Vermont, which is essentially the upside down New Hampshire. What's going on? I love Vermont. Spent a lot of time in Vermont. Used to ski in Vermont because I lived in New England for 20 years, 20 plus years. Stephen Lee from the Big Apple. No, thank you, Quenz. HH, what do I think of digital watches? Man, Again, short answer, I love digital watches, man. I think there's a use for everything, except for Invicta. Except for Invicta. No, but for real, I am a huge fan of G-Shocks. I think that every collection needs a G-Shock, and most G-Shocks are digital, or at least they have a digital display. Salim Shama says, hello from Germany, the Deutschland. Hello. Gute Nacht. Lee says, hit those likes for T3 fam. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, we're at 80 people already, 15 minutes in. Let's do this. Bait is set. Where's the Velcro Valet? The bait is set. William J says, at the time teller, Joyry sounded like a little Boston accent there. Well done. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky. I didn't get that New England accent because my parents aren't originally from there. So, speaking at home and learning at home by interacting with my parents, they didn't have that accent. But all my teachers they said idea, said draw, like you want to draw a picture. Said water, um, water, car, like driving a car. They couldn't pronounce the R's, like Jory. Um, and yeah, if your name ended with a R sound, like Hannah, they wouldn't say Hannah, they'd say Hannah. Um, it was very weird guy, and they always end the sentences with guy or dude. So, you want to draw me a picture, guy? You want to get in a fist fight, dude? So, you want some chowder? Anyway, all these just terrible flashbacks of New England. I'm just kidding. I love New England. Robert Borger says, Jory, I'm broke. Same. But I need a watch fix. This addiction is getting serious. Well, welcome to watch collecting. Um, it's a miserable existence because you're never satisfied. And the second you attain something you wanted, you realize you're just further down the rabbit hole. Luckily, I have the best supporters in the world. I have people like Uncle Reed that like check in on me and make sure that I'm not like actually going psychotic. I have all my T3 bots, and they check in on me 24/7 in the Discord chat. Again, join the T3 Army. You get access to that private chat, and we all talk 24/7. It's we have sections about everything. We just made a dedicated meme section, and that is going off the charts. But yeah, Cowboy Swami's here. Joel says, "Please help, George." Shashank Duda says, hey, Jory, can you please help me decide between a used Zenith El Primero Chronomaster or an Omega Apollo 11 30th anniversary? Here's what I'll say. I just made an episode about which Omega Speedmaster is the best buy. You might want to wait for that. In my opinion, get the Omega Speedmaster. I have the 25th anniversary Apollo 11 Moonwatch. I think that you'll never regret having a Speedmaster in your collection. And you can take that to the bank. John Conan, certified T3 bot, says, so true. Pretty sure collecting runs parallel with how heroin addicts feel. Yes, except I'm not always tired. I am always tired, but that's because of like the immense amount of like obligations in my life. The watch collecting doesn't make me tired, and it definitely doesn't make me depressed. It just makes me never satisfied. Sebra Not wrong about never satisfied. I did the usual YouTube follower thing of buying a few cheaper watches, then an Oris Aquis, and now I got my sights on an ETA Black Bay. Well, you're already well into the rabbit hole, my friend. Feed the Fat Rabbit says heroin is harder to kick than watch collecting, can confirm. Well, sounds like you have some experience. I don't. So I hope that you've kicked whatever you're talking about. All I know is when it comes to heroin and watch collecting, I think watch collecting is probably more expensive. Because if you're addicted to heroin, you don't live that long. That got kind of dark, guys. Sorry. Chi-Town, this is going to get demonetized, by the way. So we can just be okay with that and move on. Chi-Town, California, certified T3 bot says, Jory, what's your favorite generation of Sea Dweller? That's a great question. I'm a fan of the double red Sea Dweller, the DRSD, the Grail. You know, I was at a birthday party function. It was like this random dinner function. And this person just bumped into me, and he was an acquaintance. He was like a mutual friend. The guy, he's not watching this, and I don't keep in touch with him. We're not really friends. It's an acquaintance, and the guy's kind of, let's just say he's a little bit full of himself. But let me explain, and you might get the picture. On his wrist was this watch his grandpa passed down to him. He was like, "Yeah, my grandpa gave this to me, and I don't know, it's old." That's what he kept saying. And so our mutual friend was like, "Oh, Jory's actually really into watches." This is before I was the time teller. And so our mutual friend was like, "Oh, Jory, like my buddy has this like really old watch, and like he keeps complaining about it, but I figured you'd be interested to like look at it." I look, and he has a double red Sea Dweller on his wrist. That guy is wearing like $42,000 on his wrist, and he's like, this whole thing. So I just got a phone call, and it was my mom. But it's okay because I will always pick up the phone for my mom, number one. And number two, it's her birthday today. So everyone, please wish my mom a happy birthday. But yeah, anyway, back to the story. That guy was wearing an authentic double red Sea Dweller on his wrist. And that's like a $42,000 watch conservatively. And I was just like, whoa. And I could tell that it had like an original crystal everything. The patina was perfect. The dial was perfect. It was not a service dial. Everything was aging together. The crystal had the perfect amount of wear and tear. And I was like, this kid is complaining about that watch. I hated him from then on. I'm just kidding. There were other reasons that I just didn't like him because he seemed kind of self-centered, but that was just, I think, a byproduct of all of that. So, yeah. But to answer your question, Chi-Town, California, my favorite Sea Dweller was that one. Yeah. And I know some of you are going to be like, why didn't you just buy it from him? Because I don't have 42 grand to just buy that watch. Should have offered to trade him an Invicta. Yeah, I know, right? A newer one and been like, hey, this one's modern. Chi-Town, California, certified T3 bot says that guy didn't deserve a double red. He deserves a double slab. Gimpy Dude says, happy birthday, Jory's mom. Diesel says, happy birthday, Jory's mom. Dima says, happy birthday, Jory's mom. Chevy says, happy birthday, Jory's mom. William Rizzo says, happy birthday, mom. HH says, happy birthday to mom. Sebra says, happy birthday, mother time teller. John, certified T3 bot, says, happy B-Day, moms. Lee Bishop, happy birthday. Lucas, happy B-Day, mom. James K, certified T3 bot and moderator, says, happy birthday, mom. Steven Simmons, happy birthday, mom and T3. Morgan, happy birthday, Jory's mom. I had to read all of that because I know that my mom's probably laughing. Milcom, or she's probably watching and she's laughing. Milcom, the moderator, says, your mom is born on the Lunar New Year. Lucky. Chi-Town, California, certified T3 bot says, happy birthday. Stephen Lee says, happy birthday. William J says, happy birthday, Jory's mom. Gotta show love. Thank you for all of that, by the way. And Gong Hei Fa Choi, again, happy New Year. Year of the Rat. He's the one that goes first, I think, right? The rat was first up. Stephen Lee, happy birthday and happy Lunar New Year. Rating comments. Let's get some more quick fire questions. I love those questions, guys. You know who was crushing it during the members only live stream? Was that fella there. Man, he had some great questions. John, certified T3 bot. Any hints on what we can expect to see at the T3 shop? Yes. Can someone say chronographs? Vintage racing chronographs. So my T3 bots are going to get first looks at all the stuff, the incoming stuff. But we are setting up for the next restock, and I'm on a vintage, I'm on a chronograph kick, I think. So I think that's what it's going to be. That fellow there, certified T3 bot, says, Jory, what Bill and Ted style of adventure would you take to obtain a timepiece of history? Man. So for those of you who don't know, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was about Keanu Reeves and that other guy that unfortunately no one remembers, although they are making another one. They go into a telephone booth and then they like get transported throughout time, and it's crazy radical. What would I do? When I first glanced through your question, I thought that you were asking me like what time period would I go to and like what would I do, and immediately I was like, Inglourious Bastards. I would just go back to I was thinking like, I'm just gonna Inglourious Bastards. But then you were asking me what like piece of history would I get? Dima with the stupid question, what's a telephone boot? I said telephone booth, so if you can't hear that, then that's your problem. But he always has smart aleck comments. But I'm going to humor him by mentioning it. What would I do? Like, what period would I go to? This is such a difficult question. You know what I would do? I would go back to the 1930s before Invicta, before Sealand turned on to was acquired by Invicta and changed everything. And I would different thing. Invicta can do whatever Invicta wants. I would go back to the 80s and I would stop Movado from being purchased and reacquired. In business, we call that a poison pill. I would give the company a poison pill in some way, and it would totally destroy the acquisition of the company. And then Movado would die gracefully. Thoughts on sumo? Cowboy Swami says. So Cowboy Swami, I assume, isn't talking about sumo wrestling because I don't know much about that, but I think he's talking about pulling sumo, which is a variation of a deadlift pull. I think the sumo deadlift, while there is an argument that it helps with hip mobility and that it helps with hip activation, it's not a deadlift. It's a different lift altogether, and I think that it is a shame that USPS and USAPL and all the powerlifting federations allow that to be used as a deadlift. I think that is a farce, and I think it's cheating. You can pull a lot more weight pulling sumo because you move the bar like 60% less than you would in a conventional deadlift. If you're competing, I know you were talking about the Seiko sumo, but I'm going to go on a rant because it's a live stream and Dean's not here to stop me. The sumo deadlift should not be allowed in the big three. The sumo deadlift should be treated as an accessory. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And now you know what other things I'm interested in because I just spoke with it. Jay 2010 says, "Hey Jory, and hi everybody wherever you are." Joel says, "I need help, please. That's what I'm looking to buy is a vintage 1950 chronograph from Grail and Co." Well, Joel, here's what we're gonna do. Moderators, can you please link Joel a link to my watch sourcing service? I can easily find one of those chronographs, get it serviced with a 1-year warranty if you choose to buy it from me, but we're going to have to talk about that. So I can easily find you a Grail. Oh, dang, we got to do a wristwatch check. First, this is like one of the coolest trees in all of Los Angeles County, in my opinion. Second, these are the coolest boots in Los Angeles County. Third, I haven't worn this in a little while, so I just wanted to wear it. Rolex Date 1500. Baby! Dude, look at this tree, though. It's like the coolest tree in all of LA. Yeah, these are Red Wing 877s, 8-inch classic mocks with paracord laces that I did. And then this is probably the perfect watch, in my opinion. We got kind of a mix of like muted, darker tones and then like cool steel. Nataku, the moderator, says, "Gone fa choi and happy birthday to my mom." Thank you. But yes, these are Red Wings, the best boots ever made. So Joel, Nataku, the moderator, actually sent a link to my watch sourcing service. If you email that link, I will get that email, and you have to fill it out with your budget, and we got to talk about how serious you are about buying it, because I will personally do the legwork to find you that chronograph. Malcolm, the moderator, says, "Please be realistic with your budget." I didn't want to have to say that, but since Malcolm brought it up, yeah. And Nataku, yeah, I can find you a 1016, but be realistic about your budget. This is what I'm talking about. Every day, I have people writing to me asking to find things like Patek Nautiluses for under $5,000. Exactly, Nataku is one of them. Can you find me a 1016? I need it for around $1,000. Thanks. William, JLC is undervalued. I tend to agree, except the reversos are actually incredibly expensive. Chi-Town, California, Certified T3 Bot says that date 34 looks much bigger on your wrist than its size would suggest. Exactly. I have like over 7.5-inch wrists. This watch is 34 millimeters. How many times do I have to say the Oyster caseware is bigger than it lists on paper? So Rolex needs to stop making watches larger than 40 millimeters. That's all I'm saying. Tim Morrison Juggernaut says, "Hey, 6 shoes and happy birthday to your mom. What do you think about the Christopher Ward Black Gold?" I don't know which variant that is. I don't know which model that is. You gotta give me more information than that, unfortunately. Is it one of their divers or? Morgan says, a guy I work with got a Hulk for 110. Yeah, 1,000 maybe. Just kidding. If he spent 110,000 on a Hulk, then he got screwed. Itaku, the moderator, he's gone. Peace. Morgan says, doesn't look too small on your massive wrist either. No, it doesn't. I think this is how a watch should wear. Lewis Kohler, certified T3 bot, says, if money was no problem, would you spend 100,000 plus on a watch? Well, yeah, if money was no problem, I'd spend $1 million on a watch. If money was no problem, then there would be no problem me spending that. So yeah, I would spend easily millions on a watch if I wanted to, right? If money was no problem. Chi-Town, California, Jory, what do you think of Gerard Perigo? I made a whole episode about Gerard Perigo that nobody watched. One of my moderators can link it. John Conan, certified T3 bot, says, wish my grandfather's bubble back looked just a tad bit bigger on my wrist, but I still love it. Well, guess what? I have like a 32 millimeter bubble back 2940 that I wear all the freaking time. And guess what? Just for that comment, I'm going to go home later and I'm going to put it on. John, certified T3 bot, says, here's a tease for all of you. I'm showering while listening to this. Man, now we're definitely going to get demonetized. You got to give me a heads up. A Rolex Yachtmaster can retail for 41,000. Dima, Jory, at what price point is it no longer reasonable to buy a watch? That's very subjective. People have different spending habits and different spending power, right? So I can't answer that. What I would deem reasonable is very different than what, like, say, Jeff Bezos would deem reasonable, right? He has a lot more spending power than me. So it's a very difficult thing to answer. James K, certified T3 bot and moderator, has the link to my Gerard Perigo episode. So if you want to watch that, I suggest you click that link and watch that. Spiel, Jory, are you interested in a vintage Certina? It depends. Joel Taborski, you've asked this a few times. I have a feeling that you didn't, and that you're not going to. I have a feeling this business interaction is already telling me what I need to know. But you've asked me about Grail & Co. Have I heard of this company? Yes, and I know of their chronographs. They used land-drawn movements. They're actually very prevalent. You have to be careful with which ones you buy. Yeah, I know of that company, and I told you if you emailed that link a while ago, I would find you one. So yeah. Spiel, that's not enough information for me, unfortunately. You're gonna have to like write to me or something. And I have some bad news also. If you want me to buy a watch from you, I'm probably not going to be able to pay you what you want me to pay you, because you probably want to get like over 500 for it, and it's not going to happen because the business needs to make a margin. So that's what I always warn my viewers, because ever since I started the shop, my viewers want me to buy their watches, and none of them really understand how that works. So that's why I typically don't buy from my viewers. Marcelo says, yo, I just got home from soccer practice. What's going on in glorious Los Angeles? Not much. The weather's just been perfect today, though, so I cannot complain. DJ Hungzilla. Joel says, I'm not looking to buy a watch. I'm looking for advice. Is that a question, or are you? I'm not looking to buy a watch. I don't know. I am looking for advice. I don't know. You tell me. DJ Hungzilla, what's your favorite brand in vintage? Which models? Let's say under 1,000 prior to service costs. So under 1,000, what's my favorite vintage watch? That depends greatly as well. Oh, no, 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 no. Wittenauer. Wittenauer, for sure. Easily. Wittenauer is my favorite vintage company under $1,000. Peace, Sam. Time teller is a bit sassy today. Yeah, I have these days where I, you know, the things ebb and flow with how much BS you'll deal with. Today is my day. All right. Most days, see, you got to make content for other people and you got to make content for yourself. Today, I'm making the content for myself. Uh, I love you guys. So, Otaku moderator says, Jory, should I buy a circular watch? Man, just Nataku, you know what though? No, you shouldn't. You should not. Um, but Nataku, remember in the members only live stream when I told you that you probably shouldn't bring up what we've spoken about in the members only live stream in the main live stream? And you know how you just broke that rule, so we might have to just take away your privileges? See, this is what I was scared of, is people bringing up that stuff. Hank Moody, worst lifting injury. So I assume you're talking about me in person. I hate talking about this because I feel like there's a chance I could jinx myself. Um, and a lot of people I know link to me like lifting injuries, um, and I hate watching them. Do I use knee wraps only when I squat and only at the top percentages? Um, okay, here's my worst lifting injury, and I don't really want to go into it in great detail. I might talk about it in the members only live stream. I don't really want to bring it up right now because it's actually a really dark time in my life. But I actually broke uh, small fractures in both tibia, and then I cracked my left femur all in one go. And I was hobbling around on crutches for like 3 months, and I was practically bedridden for one. So, um, yeah, that was when I was 22. Yeah, so 2 cracks in both tibias and one crack in my left femur, and I can always tell when it rains because my left leg gets 3 sizes too big. Okay, I assume because William J posted, yeah, people are saying I'm a business consultant. That fellow there, certified teacher bot, says Jory just flows today, man. Yeah, I'm just going with it. Okay, Cyber Scott says, I don't know if you've ever said, but I've been curious if you have a day job and you do this on the side. If so, what do you do for work? Um, Milcom moderator, he's a business consultant. William J says, Jewish business consultant, freshly barbered, sipping Vietnamese coffee, wearing Warby Parker glasses, driving a Jeep Rubicon or a Subaru STI, which happens to be right there right now. 7.5-inch wrists, much larger biceps. Connie is the love of his life. Amen. So, to get back to that question, worst lifting injury, that's it. And to get back to Dima's question, that's why I use knee wraps when I'm lifting now. But I refuse to tell people, oh, I got bad knees, because I don't. because I can still squat a freaking house. So there. Hank says, back to watch talk. Well, ask a question, brother. John says, I pray you never get a herniated disc in your back. It's the kind of pain that can drive you out of your mind. Probably have, to be perfectly honest. I probably have herniated disc. I just train with such strict like parameters that it doesn't get aggravated very often. But dude, you don't lift as long as me without effing yourself up a little bit. Nataku, the moderator, says, why not the polo hat? This hat's very special to me. I got it in Michigan. I actually can't find that polo hat right now, but I got this in Pentwater, Michigan. Maybe some of my friends from the Midwest can fill me in, but apparently Pentwater Lake got closed down, which is freaking terrible. Hank says, can you go a week without wearing a watch? Probably not. Absolutely not. That fellow there, Certified T3 Bot, says, Jory, what video game or board game would most closely represent a day in the life of Jory? Paperboy, which is very old school, Mario Kart, etc. I think Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Trigger, he manipulates time and has to keep jumping back and forth into different decades and eras. So, not decades, even like centuries. So, probably Chrono Trigger. And if you know, you know. Morgan says, hi, Jory. Going to sell my old car and we'll have about $2K to spend on a watch. Looking at a used Seamaster 300 Auto, 8 to 10 years old, or nearly new Black Bay. I would not get the Black Bay. I'd probably get the Seamaster between those two. Pretty much, if you ever ask me between anything and a Black Bay, I'll always choose not the Black Bay. In before the questions that say, what about Invicta or a Black Bay? What about a Movado or a Black Bay? Yeah. John Conan, Certified T3 Bot, says, I'm off to wife's work party. Have a great rest of your weekend, Jory, and all the other T3 family. Well, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. Chi-Town, California, Certified T3 Bot says, Jory, what other accessories do you recommend to go with a Tony Soprano day-date? Bowling shirt, Hawaiian shirt is fine. And some pizza. Dima, not necessarily. Black bays are oversaturated, and there's too many. So you'll see in the next 10 years, the value will plummet on the Tudor Black Bay. And we will see when we all get older that the Tudor Black Bay's value has decreased drastically. I think that's a terrible watch to get. I think there's far too many of them. I think Tudor is sitting on a ton of them. And I think that, again, when I have my own kids and they're collecting watches, I'll be happy I didn't get a Black Bay because it'll be worthless. Cybersca, there are a few other big watch review channels out there. I was wondering if you were friends with any of them or know any of them. Let me put it this way: all the other dudes that I've interacted with have been nothing but nice. I don't gossip about people in general, but definitely not other watch dudes. But Teddy and I talk on I wouldn't say a regular basis, but we talk occasionally when we're talking about content and stuff. And he's a very, very nice guy. Jody from Just One More Watch, and we talk fairly regularly. He's an incredibly nice dude. Adrian from Barkin Jack, we talk fairly regularly, like on Instagram and stuff, and he's an incredibly nice dude. Swiss Watch Gang, Marco, he's a super nice guy. We've interacted a bunch. Yeah, everybody that and I think you guys should all be watching their stuff. Federico, obviously, Federico is a given. He's a very nice dude. I think all you guys should be watching all of the stuff because the better a certain watch channel does, the better we all do. So, Pete Manzo, certified T3 bot, says, Jory, have you heard Benris is relaunching? Ooh, was that why I potentially picked up a Benris for the shop? Guys, there is a pristine Benris 25 jewel auto at the store, and that's such an understated Swiss sports watch. You gotta check it out. Actually, moderators, link that to the channel. Link that to the stream. The Benris, the dimensions on that watch and the almost linen dial is crazy. I've worn that with, and it is so comfortable on the wrist, so fun. It's under $400 plus a 25 off coupon until the end of the month. So I would pick that up, guys. Cowboy, okay, so what's your thoughts on the Sumo watch? Now he's thoroughly educated on the Sumo deadlift. The Seiko Sumo doesn't do anything that the other ones can't do. It's probably my least favorite diver other than the Monster, if I'm totally honest. Milos, can you recommend some good manual wind movements that are used in vintage Cartier? There's really not that much information about vintage Cartier manual winds. I'll save that for an episode. That'd be a fun episode. Although I don't know if anybody would watch it because that's hyper specific. Does it bother me when I see people wearing Apple Watches? No, because they probably just don't care about like wristwatches, so that's fine. It bothers me when people say that there's no point in wearing an actual watch because of an Apple Watch. I think they're not mutually exclusive. I think you have two wrists, and you can wear an Apple Watch as a piece of tech, and you can wear a wristwatch because you're a man and you should. Two wrists and two ankles. I thought you disliked the Samurai the most. Yeah, probably the Samurai, the Sumo, and the Monster. I'm not a fan of. But you're right. I dislike the Samurai more than the Sumo. You're absolutely right. JJ Verdot, what's your favorite design of the second hand, regardless of the minute in our hands? Well, JJ Verdot, honestly, and it's not because I'm on their payroll. I'm actually the CEO of Boulder. Most people don't know. I actually own Boulder watches. Crazy. I'm just kidding. I'm not affiliated with them. And I'm not on their payroll. But one of my favorite second hands to this day is the Boulder second hand with the orange pip on it. I think it's so well done, and I think that's one thing Boulder does really well is they pick very good handsets. And I like how they kept it congruent throughout all their models. They have that same second hand, pretty much. I can't think of one that doesn't, but I'm sure one doesn't. But that's that's probably my favorite second hand. The Milgauss second hand is also very iconic. I've kind of fallen out of love with the Rolex Milgauss though. Lee says, I wore a different watch every day because I love watches, and you have inspired. Well, thank you so much, dude. I'm so happy I could stoke the flames of your terrible watch addiction. But yeah, the second hand on the Rolex Milgauss has always, it's an absolutely iconic bolt. And that's actually, that and the green dial is actually what made me tune into the Milgauss and really want one. And then I was like, nah, kind of falling out of love. James K, certified T3, certified T3 bot and moderator. Excuse me, gotta enunciate. Overall preference: small seconds or second hand or neither. It depends on the watch, but I am a vintage guy. I don't know if you know, I actually run a vintage shop. But small seconds, dude. I'm a sucker for small seconds. Um, but it does greatly depend on the watch, James, though, because some watches I think beckon for a small second subdial, and others don't. For instance, the Reverso, I want to be clean. I don't want there to be anything, and that's why the Classique Mechanical is the perfect Reverso. Has two hands, nothing else. Gorgeous. Whereas other watches, I think, look great with small second subdials, and yeah. Jake Bonin, um, just getting to the hobby. Well, welcome, and I'm sorry. Uh, do you recommend the Orient Sun and Moon? I want something to wear every day. My work is casual dress. Um, yeah, I think that's a great watch. I've recommended it on my site before. What I will say is, I don't know what you do day to day, but I think that's a fine watch when it comes to being able to, you know, wear it daily. Probably don't get it wet. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting watch with a interesting complication, a day-night indicator. Wrist check, probably annoying, but recently joined. No, it's not annoying, dude. I'm a wristwatch channel, bro. I'm okay talking about watches. It's a Rolex Date 1500, 34 millimeters of stainless steel. Look how gorgeous this watch is, guys. Can we just agree? Oh, Paul Helmuth just purchased a watch. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, Paul just purchased a watch. What's up, Paul? Thank you for supporting the channel. So I know the Hamilton sold yesterday, and I don't know if it might be the Benris, but oh, Paul Helmuth. Well, thank you for buying the Benris, man. It's gone. Well, that was one of. It's funny because now the two watches that were my favorites are gone. But you know which is crazy? That Booker. I think people don't know much about it, but that Booker has an ETA 2770 movement, and I'm selling it for well under 1,000. People are talking about my Red Wing laces. Yeah, this is probably the most iconic boot from Red Wing, the Red Wing 877. I modified it, if you can call it modifying, by putting paracord 550 laces. I just wanted to change it up, and I think it looks really cool. Can you make an episode talking about Bucher watches and the brand in general? Sounds good. Nataku, the moderator, says, sorry, Jory, my joke was in poor taste. Forgive me. Well, now I got to look at it. What was his joke? Do we need to take away his privileges? Junior Johnson says, is the NH35 movement any good? A lot of cheaper watches have it. Yes, it is a good movement. It's a workhorse movement. What I will say is it's nothing super duper special. It's not high beat. But what I will say is it's incredibly reliable. It's incredibly durable and tough, incredibly robust, and it has hacking and hand wind and a date complication. I don't know what more you could ask. Well, I know what more I could ask, which would be just make it high beat. But oh yeah, the circular comment. Nataku, you gotta take your privileges more seriously, bro. You're a moderator, and if you're gonna be part of that private like circle, you can't bring what we talk about there into here, especially if it's like inter-channel politics and stuff. LT L Train says, each time I see LT, each time I see LT and then 308, I keep wanting to say Lieutenant. But anyway, hi from the Green Mountain State. Thoughts on Fortis? They're cool. They're cool. Morgan says, who originally came up with the wristwatch check? I have no idea. But I think it's kind of silly to ask who first did it because we are like watch channels. So if you're a watch channel that's not allowed to show the watch you're wearing, then I don't get it. But what I will tell you is I don't show, I don't do like a wristwatch check in my episodes typically. I used to, I think. And then people complained that I don't do it anymore. But it's because I'm too busy like talking about like whatever we're talking about in the episode. But if you guys want me to do wristwatch checks in the episodes, let me know and I'll start doing it again. I guess I just stopped because it seemed kind of random. Like I was talking, like I have a theme for the episode and I'm talking about it, and then it's like, but real quick, guys, this is what I'm wearing. But if you want, then I will totally do that. Paul Helmet, thank you so much for buying the Benris, dude. That is such a sick watch. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Thank you so much for supporting the shop, and thank you so much for picking up that beautiful watch. We're gonna get it out to you. I'll ship it out on Monday. He says, Paul says, I got the Benris. Yay. It was the first nice watch I had. My original Benris is a quartz. I still have it. It will be cool to get a vintage auto. And from T3. Well, dude, you've supported the T3 shop, and guess what? I'm going to write you a personal thank you letter also. So. But Paul, thank you so much for supporting the channel, bro. T. Morrison says, wristwatch checks? Heck yes, brother. Well, okay. I'll do it. I'll do some more wristwatch checks in my episodes. I used to also throw them in at the end and stuff, but Malcolm the moderator says, just a reminder, Jory gives members a discount for his shop. That's true. If you become a channel member, you get weekly coupon codes. Dima says, to be honest, I don't really get the wristwatch checks that YouTube reviewers do. Lee says, you got to get down to business. That's for sure. Marcelo says, congratulations on the Benris, Paul. She's gorgeous. I agree. That and the Hamilton were my two favorite watches on the site. I'm going to see them for a little bit longer to do a pre-shipment inspection, and then I got to send them out. Hit that join button, Milcom says. James K says, the Wittenauer Genève sits alone waiting for adoption. Will you be the hero and adopt that Wittenauer? The climate is cold outside. Bring the Wittenauer into your home. Who can say that your love? Enya plays in the background. Yeah, that Wittenauer is crazy. And it's pristine. And I always am very cautious throwing around the word or the term new old stock because it seems, yeah, Sarah McLachlan, in the arms of an angel. You're right. Every time those commercials come on, I am like too depressed to like change the channel, so I just mute it and just try to think about something else. So that Wittenauer, I never want to say new old stock because every vintage wash site throws around that term to the point where it means nothing. But man, I'm able to get my hands on some watches that seriously look like they may have never been worn, and that Wittenauer is gorgeous. Stephen Lee says, "Gotta go, baby's up from the nap." Ugh. You got priorities, my brother. Stephen Lee from the Big Apple, Harlem. Paul says we'll be excited to see it. Well, we're going to send it out to you. Kotaku, the moderator, says become a member and join the T3 Army. We have a great community. I agree. Paul says I want that 1500. Well, dude, you just got yourself a gorgeous Benris. Looks fairly similar to this on a stainless steel bracelet, automatic, 25 joules, bro. Your Benris. That is a crazy, crazy, crazy watch. I hope you wear it in good health. We'll get that out to you next week. Clem Walker says Saturday's full of live watch content. Love it. Quick question. Where do you keep all the watches listed in the shop? I'm not telling you. Major Sam, 83. Good afternoon, Major. Hey, Jory, I love the show. What's your opinion on De Grizagona watches? Are they hot horology or a fashion brand? Well, I've never heard of them. Couldn't even pronounce it, and I'm pretty sure that it's probably a fashion watch. I'm not saying, oh, if I've never heard of it, then it's nothing. But I'm saying if I've never heard of it at all, it's either very obscure, like very, very obscure, independent, like very limited quantity watchmaker, or it's a fashion watch. Reading comments. Kyle says, I can't believe it's 34 millimeters. I know. When I zoom out, maybe you can tell, but oyster case, baby. What's the diameter on my current watch? This is 34 millimeters of stainless steel oyster strength. Nataku, the moderator, says, we have a great Discord full of fun posts where we talk about anything and everything and we laugh a whole lot. That's true. There's a section for memes where we talk about literally anything. There's a section for other hobbies outside the watch world. There's a section for like weightlifting. There's a section for EDC, so whatever you carry on your person for that day. There's a section for what are you wearing, which is specifically what your watch is. There's a general section, and there's a deals section where I post weekly discounts for the Time Teller shop that only my channel members get. And we also post links if we can find discounts at other sites. So it's like, hey guys, I found a discount at this place. Like, check it out. Hey, I found a coupon at this place. Blah blah blah. So it's us helping each other out, and it's a really good time. And one of my favorite things is every so often picking up my phone and opening it and just chuckling at all the interactions there. It's hilarious and it's a whole lot of fun. So I would um, I would definitely join. I think it's $4.99 a month to join the channel, and the channel does get some of the revenue. It's like YouTube's Patreon. So yeah. William J says Jory has a wrist slightly over 7.5 inches. That's true. That is very true. Romy says, how do you like the Seiko Bellmatic, Jory? Gorgeous, gorgeous watch. My best friend, his name's Patrick. He owned a Seiko Bellmatic, and then he sold it, and I never forgave him. But just kidding, I did forgive him because he's my best friend. But it was a dumb move on his part, and he regrets it. Morgan, how much does a Rolex date stainless steel usually go for in good condition? You can expect to spend around $3,000. Chevy Guy says, Jory, awesome chat today. Helped me fly through my 2-mile workout. Hey, dude, if I can get you through something arduous or, a monotonous task or even something a little bit difficult like a workout, then amen, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. And good job getting your reps in, baby. Otaku with Moderator says, and it helps him save up for Connie's ring or the next watch. Oh, the channel membership. That's true. The watches are stored in the beard. Yeah, gotta get close to me. He keeps his watches with the Mexican street cart lady. Again, that's an inside joke from the members only channel. T3 shop folks, what's the lug spacing on that Wittenauer? Yes, it is 18 millimeters. I believe it's exactly 18 millimeters actually. And it's on a beautiful black suede strap right now. But if you don't like that strap, Steve, and you're interested in another strap, if you purchase the watch and you're interested, you can send me an email and we can throw in a different colored strap if you're interested. We've done that a whole lot of times. So, not a big deal. You know what's funny? And Steve, I'm not talking about you, Steve Place. I'm not talking about you. A few people have emailed me asking about various watches lug width. And so I'll tell them, oh, 18 millimeter lug width or 20 millimeter lug width. And they're like, how is the watch that small? And then I'm sitting there confused because I'm like, well, I have the watch measurements on the site. And like, let's say we're talking about like a 36 millimeter watch. And I'll be like, it's a 36 millimeter watch and it has like a 42 millimeter lug to lug. And I'm like, what does he mean when he's asking about the lug width? Like that's like a 18 millimeter lug width is too small. And then I realized that a lot of people confuse the term lug width with lug to lug. So some people don't know what lug to lug is, and they think that that means lug width. And yeah, and I don't think Steve's doing that. I think Steve was talking about the strap, but I have a bunch of people that write to me, and, and they get confused when I write the measurement of lug width versus lug to lug. So Malcolm the moderator is actually probably correct. I should probably on the website somewhere have a diagram of what the different dimensions mean. That would be perfect. Yeah, Milk the moderator. Maybe you need a dimension diagram naming measurements. Steven Simmons says, don't know if you've done any videos on glycine, but what do you think of them? Glycine is an unfortunate company that got acquired by Invicta, and they ended up doing Invicta things. So what I mean by that is everyone loves the Airman and the Combat Sub, and then, Invicta acquired them, and blah, 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 blah. And then, what happened? Glycine comes out with a Tudor homage. Impressive. So what is Invicta known for? Well, gaudy, grotesque monstrosities, but also Rolex homages. And then they acquire Glycine, and now Glycine is copying Tudor. So that's very funny. Invicta sees themselves as Rolex, and then Invicta sees their subsidiary as Tudor. So they literally see their subsidiary as Rolex's subsidiary. It's just incredible. Junior, has the quality of Glycine changed? I've heard yes, and I've heard their pricing structure is terrible. Vintage Invicta is very different. Jory, any thoughts on Rolex's aversion to AR coding, with exception of the Milgauss? So AR coding is hit or miss because a lot of people don't. Okay, So AR coating can eventually rub off and give the watch a very bad look. I don't mind when watches don't have AR coating. That's not a deal breaker for me. I know a lot of companies do it on the underside of the crystal, but Lee Bishop, Jory, baby tuna, a monster, Gen 3. I say baby tuna. That's my my SRP 641 is one of my favorite watches of all time. Dems, certified T3 boss says, hi Jory, late but wanted to say hello to all. What's going on, brother? Steve says, agreed. Lug to lug versus lug width. Heck, you could have a whole episode on measurements. That actually, so you know how I have a playlist episodes for the new collector? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to have a series like literally breaking down certain things because I already did like what is a sports watch, what is a field watch, what is a chronograph. What I think I did what is a dress watch also. So I think I might do more of these like talking about measurements. Cyber Scott with the passive aggressive uh, introduction to the comment. Third time might be the charm. Yes, I'm actually actively ignoring you. And for that, I won't read the rest of your comment. I'm just kidding. I'll read it. Seiko gets lots of praise. Is Citizen underrated? What are your thoughts on them? I don't think Citizen is underrated at all. Citizen is a powerhouse of a company. They own Frederic Constant, which also owns Alpina. And Citizen has an enormous cult following. They are not at all underrated. John Agard, or John Agard. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but we're just going to say John Agard. You're getting me through doing a checkbook and paying bills, so thanks. Yeah, that's a headache, isn't it? Dima, most important video. How to tell if a watch is too big for you. Man, people will get upset about that, but I agree. Dude, I made an episode, Real Men Wear Small Watches, and a bunch of insecure babies came out of the woodwork being like, oh, really? You want to tell me? You want to tell me what men wear? What kind of man comments on another man's watch? Well, I'm a man just because I don't wear small. It's like, dude, come on, give me a break. William says, Jory, you mentioned orange hands for a splash of color. Do you like orange dials? If so, any favorites? So, William, I like the orange pip on the second hand because it is a splash. But the whole dial filled with orange is a bit much for me. So, there's really not my favorite. Nataku the moderator says, Jory, I just want to know I love you. Well, guess what? I love you, bro. There's a little bug on my hand. Daniel says, that perpetual on your wrist. Is it in your shop or is it yours? This is mine. This is the first Rolex I ever owned. This will never be at the shop. JJ Bordeaux says, I'm a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. Are you into any Marvel TV? I'm excited for any coming to Disney Plus. Excuse me. That was difficult for me for some reason to read. I don't watch Disney Plus, not because I'm against it. I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet. All of these things because I'm very busy. I'm so sorry. So yeah, but I do want to watch The Mandalorian and everything, so I'll probably end up getting Disney Plus or something. I don't know. Jack Butcher, hi, how are you doing, sir? Please, sir's my dad's name. Just kidding. My dad's name is Doctor. I just want to know if you like Hamilton and Tissot watches. I myself really love them, and I like Seiko as well. Well, you take care. Thank you so much, man. Yes, I do like both of those. Tissot and Hamilton. I like vintage Tissot. I like all Hamilton, and I love Seiko. Milk the Moderator has a link to that episode, Real Men Wear Small Watches, where I mentioned Muhammad Ali and a few other heavy hitters, but, you know, people got upset in the comment section. Real men wear small watches? You're big. What is one Seiko you recommend? Alpinist. Sarbo 17 to be exact. What's the building to my left? This is a library. LT. L Train says the big watch goes with my big truck. Nataku the Moderator says make sure to follow Jory and Connie's Instagram for great content daily. Thank you so much for the support. William J says it's easy to forget, guys, but please hit the like. Thank you. Seriously, hitting the like helps out a lot. Milk and the Moderator has a link to my personal Instagram where I post pretty much daily. I try to post daily. And Milk and the Moderator has a link to Connie's Instagram. Connie taught me everything I know about photography. She's literally a pro photographer. So if you want to see some very, very well executed photography, then you got to click that link. Now, unfortunately, it's not, you know, hot pictures of her because those pictures are for my eyes only. Sorry, guys. Andre, what do you think of the Bulova Super Seville? I've made an episode about that watch, my friend. Milcom, because I know you're on top of it. Can you link him the video about, I think the title is I Like Rolex Homages Now? Link that episode and everybody can watch it. Hot pictures of Jory, though? You got to pay for the membership only, guys. Oh, no, my phone is telling me that it's almost out of batteries. Yeah, Milk and the Moderator. Well, Andre, check this out. I love Rolex homages now. That's all about Bulova and their history with Rolex homages. Yeah, guys, give a hand for my moderators. They do a heck of a job, and not just on the live streams. They're kind of working 24/7 on the Discord chat as well. Jose Miguel Martin says, Jory, the best of a bunch of time tellers. Thank you. Well, thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Jose Miguel Martin. Young Excellency says, big ups to the moderators. Airwash says, would appreciate. Whoa, Steve, we got a new member. Air horns, guys. Air horns in the comment section. Steve, you are officially a certified T3 bot. Pay attention to your YouTube feed after this live stream. I'm going to post a link and you will get access to the Discord chat. Now in the Discord chat, there's no additional cost or anything. You're automatically in that when you're a member. And yeah, you help the channel out a bunch, guys. The support, we can't put out the content we put out without the channel support because people think YouTube is throwing the content creators money. No, honey. That's not how it works. We need support. And I don't feel like doing the whole Patreon thing. Just staying on YouTube seems to be easy for me. A lot of other channels have like a tiered system. YouTube allows you to charge up to $99 per channel membership. I don't feel like doing that. So I think we keep it at like $4.99. So yeah, you want to do that, and you can be like Steve Place and support the channel. So thank you so much, bro. Pay attention to your YouTube live feed. There will be a link for you to join the Discord. Steve Place, certified T3 bot, says Patreon is tough to maintain from what I hear. from other creators. This seems like an easier way to go. Yeah, because I don't have to be like, yo, click the links down and then join Patreon. I don't even know what that interface looks like. So instead I can be like, yeah, there's a join button next to the subscribe button. You just click that and then you become a member. And that just seems super easy. I don't need to tell people to go anywhere else. But Chi-Town, California, certified T3 bot. Jory, do you still like Wrist Candy Watch Club NATO straps? The short answer is yes, simply because they are the perfect length for my wrist. I don't like when NATO straps don't have enough extra material to be tucked back properly. So, my AirPods are telling me that they're running out of batteries too. Malcolm the Moderator says, here's a tutorial on how to join if you're on mobile. Airwatch, is Orient Star the poor man's Grand Seiko? Well, I don't think it's a poor man's Grand Seiko. I think it's the Orient Star. I think the Orient Star is great. It's a nice series. Don't sell yourself short, guys. You don't have to sully your watch by comparing it to a more expensive watch. Like, let me be clear. I wear this Rolex date, okay? I might take this off and wear my SKX later. I might put on my 18 karat gold Vacheron and then the next day wear my 200 something dollar Boulder Venture. That's not like that's be proud of what you have and don't compare it to other things. That's the advice I'll give you. And I'm not saying to lower your expectation. I'm saying appreciate the good things, but also be appreciative of what you have. Here's can I go on a little rant? I'm gonna do it anyway. So on my Instagram, I post things about cars and stuff. I'm really into rally cars. Okay. I really like one of my Grail cars is the Mercedes-Benz 190E Cosworth Evo. Okay. That's a four-door sedan with a big wing on the back from the 80s and 90s. And it is just a weapon of a car. Okay. They did tarmac racing, they did rally racing with it. It is just a beast. So I post pictures of that car. And I sometimes have to give myself perspective, okay? I have an STI. That's all-wheel drive. Is it the fastest car ever? No, but it exceeds my skill level at driving. That thing goes faster than I'll be able. That thing goes faster than I'll ever be able to take it. It's freaking sick. No, I'm showing extreme close-up on me, but I was showing the watch. Or I was showing the car. It sounds great. I've modified it a little bit. It has a big old wing, has a great racing history, rally history. I'm not going to tell myself, oh, that's the poor man's 190E Cosworth. No, I'm going to be proud with that thing and be like, yeah, I have my own piece of rally history. I have a Subaru STI. I'm proud of that thing. And I don't walk around saying, yeah, I have a poor man's 190E Cosworth Evo. No, dude. Okay? So the same thing goes for watches. If you have an Orient Star, you got to say, guess what? I have an Orient Star and I love it. And it's a badass watch. You don't say, oh, I wear like a poor man's Grand Seiko. The same reason why every dude that has a Tudor Black Bay, the only thing they say about it ever is, oh, this is essentially a Rolex. It's like, dude, if you can't say anything good about your watch other than that it's kind of related to Rolex, then why did you buy it? Anyway, rant over. James Hay with the super chat says, any thoughts on the Bulova Computron reissue? Hey, very cool. Not my jam, but very cool. Junior Johnson says, good point, Jory. I have a watch my grandkids gave me. $70 watch. It makes me smile every time. Amen, brother. Amen. Paul Dong, thank you so much. You are officially Paul Dong certified T3 bot. Please pay attention to your YouTube live feed because I have a way of doing a community post where only my channel members get to see it. So I'm going to post a little secret link for you guys, Paul and Steve, and you guys will get links to the Discord chat. Now, when you become a channel member, number one, you can sleep at night knowing that you are supporting the channel and everything we do here. So we thank you for that. But also, you get weekly discounts that exceed the Black Friday deals. Weekly discounts at the Time Teller shop. You get first dibs on everything and all the restocks. You get a private members only live stream once a week. And you get access to that Discord chat where it goes on 24 hours a day. We all joke around. So do it. Paul Dong Certified T3 Bot. James K. Computron, not my jam. William J. says watches plus phone plus muscles equal T3. Amen, brother. That's me. JJ Bordeaux says I spent an hour and 20 minutes making Brussels sprouts and then promptly dropped them all on the floor. Bro. One time before a live stream, I bought a cup of coffee and I knocked it over. And then I went in and got a second cup of coffee, and then I spilled it on myself. So, yeah, just 5-second rule, bro. Steve says Steve Place Certified T3 Bot says 3-minute rule. But guys, my phone and my AirPods are telling me I'm out of batteries. So a couple more quick fire questions, and then I gotta blast. Johnny Neutron. Corey Trench. Certified T3 Bot. You freaking rock. Dude, we can't do it without you guys. Corey, please, again, I have to say this every time, check your YouTube feed on the YouTube app because I can do little community posts where you get a private members only link to the Discord chat. You guys are crushing it. Thank you so much, guys. Corey, we can't do any of this stuff without you guys. Again, YouTube does not support certain channel creators or content creators more than other ones. What I'm trying to say is if you're like Jake Paul or someone, you probably are pushed up in the algorithm and YouTube bows to you. But if you're, a tiny channel like mine, we need all the help we can get. So thank you so much, Corey, Paul, and Steve Place. Elias Jacob, what's my favorite watch under $1,000? Seiko Alpinist Sarbo 17. Jory, what do I think of Raqueta? So far, not my jam. Steve Place, Certified T3 Bot says, holy smokes, 3 new members this live stream. You're one of them, brother. JJ Bordeaux is still eating his Brussels sprouts that he dropped on the floor. He's just pulling off some cat hair. Amen. But guys, all right, these keep beeping at me. Here's what I want you to do. Number 1, get out of your freaking comfort zone. I'm not joking. I'm seriously. I just said I'm seriously. You got to get out of your comfort zone. All right, I do that all the time. There's people walking around the park. There's people having fun. There's people living their lives. I'm here, a big, large, bearded dude screaming into a phone. And I don't care because it pays off, because I look forward to this live stream every single week. Who else can say that they hang out with 100 people every Saturday and just talk about things? Not a lot of people can do that. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. And you guys have joined the party, and you guys freaking rock. I can't do any of this without you guys, my Saturday regulars. So please get out of your comfort zone. Do one thing every day that makes you a little uncomfortable, a little scared, and it'll pay off. I promise you. So do that. Out of your comfort zone. 1. Number 2, tell someone you love them, okay? Even if you're down in the dumps. Hey, I'm a pretty positive dude. I feel like, but every so often I get down in the dumps. I'm not a sociopath. Again, that's exactly what a sociopath would say, though. But seriously, you got to tell someone you love them, because even when you're sad or upset, sometimes showing love makes you feel better. So I'm gonna start this off. I love each and every one of you. You guys support the channel in more ways than you know. 2 people purchased things from the shop yesterday and today. Um, Dude, pick up that Wittenauer. I'm telling you, pick up that Wittenauer. It is an absolute steal. Someone. Um, but yeah, you guys freaking rock. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday for Monday's episode. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a very fun episode talking about the future for 2020. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. So guys, I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Love you guys. Have a blessed weekend. I will see you on Monday.